I thought you had the Rockstar bat
they
phone.
will, but it's like not until like it's like 6 months.
No chances of leaks.
Yeah.
All right. You guys ready?
Let's go.
Welcome, everybody, to the FLEXCAST. This is episode number 4?
Number 4, yeah.
4, 5.
Episode number 4.
Yeah.
We did a bonus episode for Spotify, but I'm Haas. That's Harrison.
Hello.
This is Steve. You already know. Last episode, we had a special guest, and we hadn't planned that. Yeah, Peter McMaster. That was fun. But we hadn't planned it at all, so we kind of threw.
Unexpected.
Yeah.
It just came out of nowhere.
We threw some random mic together, and it actually worked out okay. But let us know how you guys, what you guys thought of that too. It was the first time we had a guest, and I think we'll have more in the future. But it wasn't even a planned guest. So today, what's going on with you guys today? Today's Thursday.
Yeah.
Not much. Just
Not much,
putting some
yeah.
videos out with Haas today.
Oh, that's right. We
That's
debuted our video.
Our third video.
Yeah.
I didn't use millionaire in the title.
Thank you.
Maybe I should have. I could have got more views.
You didn't use multimillionaire.
Multimillionaire,
yeah. But you don't really do clickbaity stuff. You give a concept, but like the thumbnail has shoes that we didn't buy in it
It did.
for our video, but it gives you the point of it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's not like you're going there to see something that you.
Oh, you
You're
saying
not
like
getting
it's kind of close to clickbait, but it's not that close.
And yeah, I mean, it's
just
like
sometimes I'll add an extra box or add a little something extra in the thumbnail.
Gotcha,
Just a little more
gotcha.
enticing, but you're still getting the same thing throughout the video.
I agree, and I think so. So the definition of clickbait is interesting because clickbait, I feel like, is it's false, right? Like you're lured into something. You know, it's false
You thought you
advertising,
was gonna watch and
it's not. Yeah,
I stole this car from Lamborghini,
right,
and you just walked in and you sat in it. You didn't really steal it.
right. So it's basically a falsehood, in my opinion. That's what
Yeah.
clickbait is. So in all respects, you're not doing clickbait, but there are people I've seen because I read your comments, and they're like, "Bro, you didn't even buy that one shoe," or whatever it is, and that's true. But it's not clickbait. It's like, you know, you're doing exactly what you think you're doing. It's just the illustration is a little bit different just to give you a better impression.
Like Mr. Beast, if you've ever seen his thumbnails are insane, and they're not exactly what you would think. Like they do, like, will magnets stop a shooting bullet? And they have a guy with an AK-47, another guy standing on the other side, and a bunch of magnets in between. Obviously, they didn't shoot a bullet at somebody, but it's the concept of the video, and you're still getting that because they're still shooting a bullet at magnets to see if it'll stop it. But
And your thumbnails though are pretty easy because you almost always just do
in the
always
video.
in the video, right?
Exactly in the video. I'll
Wish
let
my
them
life
know
was that easy.
exactly. Oh, I'll let them know exactly what time I'm doing the thumbnail. Instead of cutting it, they see exactly what I'm showing.
So
them.
you could never be accused of clickbait
No,
because
no.
it's a frame of the actual video.
Yeah.
wish my life was that easy. For thumbnails, at least. Thumbnails is the one struggle.
I know. Man.
I actually really enjoy putting together thumbnails. I mean, of course, I'm very new. I've put out, 15 videos, but 16 or something like that. But thumbnails, I feel like are really easy for me, maybe because there's a lot less writing on it. But I have a lot of fun with them because I take things that are basically frames of all of my clips, and I sometimes piece them together, or it's just one screenshot, one frame. But it's always pretty much exactly what's in the video. So I feel like that way I'm safe. But I'm also not doing as exciting things yet as you guys are.
One day you'll evolve into clickbait.
Yeah.
Semi-clickbait.
Maybe. Well, he doesn't do any clickbait.
No, I mean, you know what? In the beginning, I used to like do so many different stuff, but I realized how much time that I spent on it versus where I just let them have. Like, if it feel like people just want you to like really, really like, they want to be in while you doing it, like telling the truth in a way.
So like they're a part of it.
They're a part of it.
I got you.
Yeah, because I remember back in the day, like I used to post thumbnail on YouTube. It's like, so which one should I pick, guys? And then they would just go, oh, number 3, or number 2. Yeah, which I think I should actually bring that back. Yeah,
I do it on Instagram. I do it with video ideas as well. I'll take a poll on Instagram and I'll put 2 ideas against each other just to kind of gauge. And they won't be like very similar. They'll be like kind of different ideas that I haven't done before to kind of gauge what people want to see. And usually it's like 50-50, so it gives me no help. But then sometimes, like Haas and I's video, I put up against something because I was trying to figure out our idea, and it ended up being like 90-10, the idea that we did.
Jeez.
So, I mean,
so it's not pure crowdsourcing because you're saying you've narrowed it down to 2. So it's
and
like,
it's not.
all right.
I don't leave it up forever. I put it up for like 10 minutes just to see the early general reaction because I don't want to
Yeah.
have all these polls on my all
Well,
day
you have
on there.
350,000,
So it'd be like 2,000 to
followers.
3,000 people. Will
So
see it.
he only needs like 5 minutes.
Couple-
Yeah.
5 minutes, I'll get like 3,000 to 5,000.
In a whole day now, I'm getting maybe 2,000.
Look at
Out of
you.
my 30-something thousand. But that out of 30,000, right, on the stories, you have like 50,000 on the regular.
Oh my
60.
God.
What are your stories
No,
like?
I think most of my subscribers feel like, okay, I post when I want to, so it's like they look for me, but sometimes they don't even look. It's like, all right,
So what are your numbers like on stories on IG? Because you're
a
what,
couple thousand.
your IG's at what?
181, I think.
Okay.
right now. Yeah.
So it's a couple thousand?
couple thousand.
Oh, it's like mine.
yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that makes me feel good. Like I've
Stories
got
is a hard thing.
yeah.
You just have to. I don't know why. I don't post a lot of stories, so maybe that's why it helps. But I feel like when you post hand in hand, if you post too many stories, then I just like, all right, I'm not watching any more of these.
Yeah.
But if it's not enough, then it's like, oh, people want to see what you're doing.
So how often do you post and how many stories do you post?
You know what? One thing I regret, like today, the fact that I didn't push my Instagram as much as I push my YouTube and also Twitter, because it was like I pushed those and totally forgot about Instagram. Like I felt like Instagram didn't matter to me because I was like I'm sharing with my family and sharing with some of my friends on there.
Yeah.
But it was like, damn, I got left behind on Instagram all the way.
It's
It
never
doesn't
too
match
late.
my YouTube.
I don't.
Never too late.
Yeah. One, I agree. It's definitely not too late. Two, you didn't get left behind. You have 180,000 fucking
I know,
people.
but it doesn't match 2.7 million.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah. And yeah, I don't know.
Well, it takes a different kind of work though.
YouTube
yeah.
or YouTube to Instagram is a very hard conversion.
Oh my God. it's
Well,
the
both
worst.
ways. Instagram to YouTube is slightly better. YouTube to Instagram is tough.
The worst.
Different platforms.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, let's say the same two platforms, which is normal in pretty much any media. So I mean, I've done lots of different business aspects of converting, CRM, databases from one thing to another, and the conversion is almost always terrible, especially if you're changing platforms or mediums. But in this case, most of the time, Instagram to YouTube is a little bit better. Regardless, it's always shit. But
Yeah.
Instagram to YouTube is a little bit better typically than YouTube to Instagram because that's dismal.
I do a lot of giveaways to help drive to my Instagram, and with that, I feel I still post enough good content for people to want to stay, and I still continue to give back a lot. I try to give back I give away like 3 pairs of shoes a month, and typically it's from combined it'll be like I'll do about 3 giveaways, and it'll usually be about $5,000 to $7,000 worth of shoes a month that I'm giving away. Whether that I team up with a store to do it, or I team up with a website, whatever it is, or I'll just do it myself just to give back. I give away $500 cash through Cash App. I did $50 a person. I just do a lot of stuff to drive it, and those people retain. At first I didn't think it would retain because they're there for the giveaway, but I guess the way I interact with them and I don't flood the feed with a bunch of stuff. Like I post on Instagram.
You're talking about the feed post versus
Feed posts
story.
and stories, both. I don't flood them that much.
So what's
if
your
they're
average number of posts in a month? 2?
4 to 6
on your feed?
4
on your
to
feed.
6 maybe.
4 to 6
Now.
on the feed.
Sometimes it could be
I would
like
say it was way less than that a couple months
now
ago.
it's like 4 to 6. I tried a little bit more, but 4 to 6.
So okay, so about once a week, if not a little more.
And in each picture, it's like 70,000 likes.
And then what about your stories? How often are you posting on your stories?
I'll post like twice a day, maybe.
Okay. And so what's your kind of feed on Instagram and story,
I don't even pay attention to it.
schedule?
which
So you
I
have
need
no
to, yeah.
no rhyme or reason. Like one day, because I've seen one day you'll do 10.
Yeah.
Yeah,
10
you
to-
can, you'll
10
repost
stories.
people who
If I'm
tagged
out.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll do 10 stories if you're out or people like tag you, viewers, etc. Some days you'll just do 0.
Yeah.
And then posts seem for you like random. Like you'll post every day and then you'll post not at all for a week.
Most of the posts that I usually do for Instagram is either sponsor or just
Yeah.
Or funny videos.
Yeah,
Like
a lot of mine
random
is like
funny
that
videos.
too. Sponsored.
Yeah.
It's tough. Just and Instagram is hard to pick what to post on there, and I don't know. Mine is a little bit different because I post like outfit pictures and stuff, but then I'm like I don't want to go put on an outfit just to go take a picture kind of thing
I've
because
seen people.
I'm like outside of like when I'm not working, I don't want to be taking pictures and doing stuff like that because I want to be living life. So I usually just giveaway, an advertisement, I'll do a sponsor post. And then sometimes I'll be like, all right, my outfit's pretty cool or my car looks good. I'm going to take a picture real quick. But it'll be like, snap, snap, I'm done.
Yeah, just like the other day, I did food. I never did food before. Like I was like, yo, this is some good French food. This restaurant that I found, all the way, I think it's in Alpharetta somewhere. And when I say the food was
Up in Alpharetta, you mean?
yeah,
Way up.
there. Yeah.
Have you had Le Bib down here?
No.
The Biblique?
The best French that I've had.
We sat next to it when we went to
Yeah.
the Colonial.
Oh yeah, we seen it, but
The best French that I've had down here.
Oh yeah.
I think, it depends on the style.
It depends what you get
Yeah,
also.
Marcel is probably my favorite restaurant
Yeah.
right now.
Okay.
And it's like French steakhouse type thing.
I mean, I'll take you to that restaurant.
To which
You
one?
let
Oh,
me
the one in
know.
Alpharetta?
Yeah.
All right.
Haas doesn't want to go all the way up there.
I
I
mean,
know, right?
Well, for Steve, I would.
Yeah,
For Steve and for food, then I definitely will.
for card roulette, and if I go, you're definitely not paying for food, so definitely.
Yeah. So, I mean, Steve, have you heard? You know how I used to lose all the time at credit card roulette, right?
Yeah.
And pay 75 to 80% of the time with like 5 or 6 guys. I
Mm-hmm.
would lose all the time. It was a joke. So since Harris and I have been doing it recently, I've been on like a 90% win streak. He's lost repeatedly.
Everything.
Like that day that we were together
Uh-huh.
at Gypsy, right?
I can't
he
remember
lost
the
3
last time
times
you
that day.
paid for my food. I can't remember the last time.
Yesterday he paid again. The day before that he paid.
Oh my god.
Because we went, the one time you paid was like we went out with Nick for roulette or for lunch, and then I didn't
Yes.
even get any food. I got one single drink.
You had a drink.
I had one drink, and
Nick
then Nick
had
ordered
a bunch of food and
got an
drinks.
entree, sides,
Yeah.
3
Wait,
drinks.
but
and
who did you guys let pick the card? The waiter.
The waitress.
waitress.
Always the waiter or waitress.
Okay.
yeah, and so
The server.
we made Nick put his card in because he was the one that ate the most. But typically when we go to card roulette, like I put in my card for him, like another one, just because I feel bad. He doesn't have it like that, and he's not like he gets forced into it. But I was like, no, you're doing it because he had most of the food.
He did. It
and
made
then
sense.
Haas ended up
And,
losing.
and I said the percentages are really good for you, and sure enough.
but if I would have lost that, I would have been mad because I had one single drink and it was like $150 bill.
he had the least. I had 2 drinks and a little bit of food.
Oh my
Nick
God.
had a ton of food, a ton of drinks.
He had the
and you
most
had
food
one
and the
drink.
most drinks.
Yeah.
2 entrees and 3 old fashions, which are like $17 a piece there.
Oh my
Well,
God.
So if we do go up to Alpharetta, I'm happily going to invite Harrison so that he can probably pay for us.
That's why I'm going to be invited now.
Oh my God.
But yeah, if there, I always get messages like, "Hey, when you guys are on GTA, like let me know so I can play." I'm sure you get hundreds and thousands of these, and then it's like, "Hey, when you guys are sneaker shopping, like, let me know," because I think they think I'm more accessible than you guys, right? So
You are.
yeah,
You comment
it's true.
to everybody.
It's true. I mean,
Steve
well,
and I just
almost. It depends.
I know.
On my videos on YouTube, I comment every single one. On like mine with yours, there's no fucking way I'm doing that at 2,000 comments. I pick and choose, and then with you, I can still on the gaming stuff. I can still do everyone, but not on
I still
yours.
comment though. I still comment for some, but I will pick random video. Like I'm like, all right, if I have some free time today, I pick that one video and I will comment like for a whole 2 hours.
Yeah. Well, you see, I don't usually have enough comments for a whole 2 hours worth, but no, people say that, and it's true. I am more accessible. However, they're always like, "Hey, come hang out with me." I'm like, look, if you want to hang out with us, like, first of all, we have to vet you because you just can't like come show up like to my house. You're gonna get shot, by the way. Don't do that.
well, like we can just we can meet somebody at a store and we'll talk to him, hang out.
Right,
We're not
right.
gonna invite
No.
you over for a bourbon.
no, it's different. It's different.
You gotta
That's
like
different. Yeah.
gotta be picky who you let in. You don't want
Yeah.
taking pictures, letting you know where you're at. And
Exactly. I mean, that IG live thing I did yesterday, I deleted it because I realized that if you just follow,
Oh, wait, you?
if you just follow from where you can
Public to your
my
house.
God.
You showed the roads. That's why I was like, you're gonna give out your address.
No, I didn't show the actual road signs, but I definitely showed like if we went left or not, and so you could figure it out very easily.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And
it
you
was,
said the street that you live on. You said the main road right here.
oh yeah, but that's fine. I live off West Paces. Like, come find me. I don't give a fuck.
You know what? That actually bring me back to something that happened to me. So when I first moved here, I was living in Douglasville, and there's I guess our neighbors found out that I was a YouTuber, and I guess her kids decided to post exactly where we live.
Oh, to dox
Exactly.
you.
Yeah, on like it was parents showing up.
How
It
old were
was,
the kids?
Probably like 11, 12.
Okay, so they were like really young.
Children.
Yeah,
Their parents had to drive them there.
they don't know what the fuck they were doing. is the
Yeah,
point.
we had people jumping in our pool. Late
What?
night,
Fuck
9
that.
o'clock. Somebody would
Wow.
throw a rock at our
Wow.
windows. Like
The
just
problem is they're kids too, so you can't like walk out with your strap ready to.
Oh,
no, I mean
I will. This is Georgia, people. Do
Go
not
down south.
Do not come close. I will mow you the fuck down.
No playing around.
Yeah. Public warning. There you go. Free
I mean,
disclosure.
the problem is that happens a lot with YouTubers, and there's this one guy that I've seen that he doxes big YouTubers when they buy a large property, and he's like does articles on a specific website. I can't remember what it was. I don't want to say it and say the wrong one. And he purposefully puts out these articles like such and such is moving to a $9 million house at this address with a picture of the house and all this, and it's to show what it is, and like it's public record, whatever. Even when these people, this one specific YouTuber H3H3, they did it the specific way where their names are not on the on anything, so they can hide it. And the reason they moved is because their last house, they had gotten swatted so many times, and they have a kid, and they had the SWAT team show up multiple times, and they wanted to do everything they could so their address was not out there. And that guy just the day that they
he
move
also
in,
pisses everybody off.
the day that they
mostly 'cause he's
closed,
annoying.
the day they closed, he posted the article. It's like, does he not understand? So then the H3H guy, he was on his podcast. He's like, go find out where this fucker lives. Like, you gotta do this to us. And so that's funny.
That's crazy.
But obviously, I don't dox people. That's the whole message. Is don't show people's address. And if you find a YouTuber's address, don't expect to go and like knock on their door. It's like, and I think a lot of viewers kind of relate to YouTubers more definitely more than celebrities. I feel like there's a better connection there. Yeah. And that's why it feels more like they can be friends. But it's a different level when you get to the house, because I see daily big YouTubers are just like, well, guys, please stop coming to my house.
You were there at the FaZe house when
it's terrible,
and they said that it happens all the time. But someone got in
the hills. They lived in the hills. It took 25 minutes to get there from the normal road. 25 minutes. It's a long way. Somehow their address got out. So I stayed there for a week. Every day I'd wake up. I'd be like one of the only people up at like noon because everybody was sleeping, and I'm from the East Coast.
Noon?
No, I would wake up at like 6 a.m. their time. They're going to bed. Literally. But I would be walking around the house, and I'd just look out the window because it's all glass. There'd be 20 kids out there screaming with their parents, hey, because they didn't even know who at this point, 100,000 subs. They didn't know who I was, but I'm in the house, so I must be important. Yeah. And so they're like screaming. And so there's been times where like these kids were like coming and like screaming, throwing shit at Banks' room, and he like threw bottles at their car, and they've recorded it. And he came out, was like, you came to my fucking house. I'm going to throw shit at you. Don't come to my house and start screaming and throwing shit. Damn. And then I was there when some kid tried to do a prank and break into the house, and it's bad.
I mean, I understand it. I do. I obviously don't think it's right. It's not something people should do, but sometimes that's going to happen when you're in the public eye, right?
But the only thing to me is you're not just passing that house. You have to go.
You got to know
half an hour to even just get to the place and find your way up. Because even if you know
it only takes one though.
I know, but then there's 20 kids up there. Well, so when they go out and get in their Ubers to leave, then all the kids swarm, and so they had to. So what they did is they ended up hiring 24/7 security. So
that's the thing is you have to have like with my I'm in the middle of doing gates and fences for mine, not because of YouTube or anything, just because of a security standpoint. It makes sense for the property. But if you're going to go to someplace like that, you kind of have to have that, right? If you're in the public eye.
The problem is it's a hard situation, especially there, because it's not like an area where. So basically, the 24-hour security would sit in the garage all day, and so you'd have to walk up and know the guy. So when I first got there, once I introduced that, I had to go introduce myself to him, each person on the shift, to make sure that they know who I am. So I'm not just some random person walking into the house because I'm a new guy there.
And you have that now though in your high rise, and then you have 24-hour
security, and they patrol around too.
Right, and they patrol. Yeah. And I mean, we've paid for patrol here, but it's not 24/7, and that's the downside.
That's why I picked an apartment building for a while. You can't beat that security for the price.
That's true. It's true.
Built into the
Except for you have to live in an apartment.
It's true. I mean, there's also condos.
Your apartment's as big as this room that we're in right now.
Condos also have that aspect to it, but you pay $1,000 a month to have that. So
it's definitely worth it. I mean, I never had it until now. Like I'm like, wow, this is worth it.
So in the old days, when you were in New York,
it was bad. It was either people followed us or it will be like out of nowhere. I remember I threw this event and NYPD just shut it down because too much people actually showed up. Way too much. But and the apartment we used to live in, it would be like people waiting at the building. Waiting. It's like, hey,
just waiting for you,
Steve.
I've never had that, thank God.
Yeah, it got
I mean,
bad.
and I don't mind meeting people, and I'm sure you don't mind meeting people
No, I
either.
don't mind.
But it's your place of home
Yeah.
that's where you go to disconnect, and it's hard to understand that, I guess, from an outsider's perspective. But like, I feel like you're not in front of the camera as much, so it's like when you're out in public, it's not that bad. But like, I can see from my experience how celebrities like Justin Bieber go crazy because that pressure of being out, and like I can imagine him trying to go get lunch, and you can't. Everybody's staring at you. Everybody's taking pictures of you secretly, and you're just trying to have a conversation. And you TMZ's out there. Like I haven't had it to obviously TMZ follow me. I've had TMZ type the Hollywood Fix follow me when I was in LA. That it was weird, but all that stuff it can drive you mad. Like there's no way it doesn't. Like being in that light, and that's.
I think for most people, yes. I don't think it would faze me at all.
You say that until you get into that realm.
He's
'Cause
been
I
saying
thought the
that for a
same
while.
thing.
Yeah.
I've said the same thing, but dude, like there will be if I go on a Saturday.
But hold on, like you can say the same thing, but personality wise, you actually want your privacy. You're more introverted. You value your privacy, and you want to do be under the radar sometimes. I don't give a shit.
But
In
if you're
fact,
in public,
but
I
when
expect
they have the camera in your face at all time, though, like without your camera, not your camera, like you have.
they're like
Yeah,
recording you
like
do
someone
shit.
else.
Like you're sitting there eating with whoever, and they're just recording you.
Yeah,
and you can
sure,
see it. You're like,
it can be annoying, but I'm not gonna like go crazy, like change my whole perspective on life, and I don't know who I am because of that shit.
No, I mean,
but if you're at Justin Bieber's level at 16 years old,
Yeah,
imagine
that's
being
different. That's
15
different.
years
That's
old.
that's different. Like as a child, that would be.
But
very,
that's what I'm saying. I can see him go as crazy because people give him crap for how crazy. Like he's like, I don't want to take pictures with any fans. If you see me, please just say hi. I don't want to take any pictures. All you guys use me is for pictures. He's freaking out at paparazzis. I can see it be maddening at his like. I just can't imagine.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense when you're young and you're a child because you really don't know how to handle that. You don't know who you are either.
Yeah.
But I can imagine it would be very annoying. Yes.
No, they usually do the worst. Is it'll be like they pick the table next to you and have the camera like right here.
Yeah.
That's annoying.
I'm sure it's annoying.
But I mean,
Well, Haas would just be like, "Hey guys, what's up?"
Like, hey, what's up?
Or like
How's it
me,
going?
I'm on a date with Sophie. I'm like, all right, I'm trying to.
But
Yeah.
I would just call and get like a private room if I wanted. If I wanted privacy, have a conversation, whatever. I just call and get a private room.
What's if so? Being
I mean,
in
I do that
public, you
now,
get
and there's
it.
no reason for like nobody else is coming to see
Yeah, but
me.
you don't expect somebody to come sit down next to you and put their camera on you. Like that's just.
Yeah.
But that's a rare occurrence. That's not normal. Like I'll be out walking and Sophie can notice that there's kids that are nervous to like say something to me, and she'll like point it out to him because I'll hear him say my name. She'll be like, "Hey, do you want to take a picture with him?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let's take a picture." But I'm not gonna personally go out of my way to be like, "Hey, do you want to take a picture?" Because I think it's awkward if I like, "Hey, do you want to take a picture?" And then you know who I am. Like, who is this guy asking me to take a picture right now?
Yeah.
Like, what is he?
That
Who
would
does he
be
think
funny.
he is? But she does it when
You
know,
turn into Ant-Man and Endgame.
You want to take a picture of me?
Vic-
Picture of me?
It's the Hulk. What about me? I'm Ant-Man.
They're like,
No.
no.
No, they want a picture. They don't want a picture.
They don't want a picture.
Well, when you were back in New York and you started going full time, right? That's when you started.
Yeah.
Were you still? I'm curious. Were you playing games for fun and not recording, or were you just always recording when you were still gaming then?
No, it was more like sharing with a couple of my friends.
So you
it'd
were
be
still
like,
gaming with your friends.
We were just gaming, but at the same time, it was like, okay, we just want to share. And even the first video, it was more like, yo, what have you done so far? How many cards you're installing the game? What have you done? And that video just blew
that was
up.
the F430.
Yeah.
That you did. That was all of
The
It was
840.
so
yeah,
random.
like 40 seconds.
Yeah.
The Ferrari 840.
No, A40. He was saying A40.
No, the one from yesterday.
F40 is what he was saying last time. Last episode, he was talking about the F40. He said A40.
I know.
But,
It was funny.
But his first video is a Ferrari F430 that it just drives around for 40 seconds and then
40
it
seconds,
ends.
and it was.
And it has like 7.5 million views.
Yeah, because the game looks so crappy regular, so that was like an up back in the days for it.
Okay.
But it's, I mean,
So you were playing for fun and also recording.
Yeah.
And then now, do you ever play for fun, just for fun, and not record?
no, it's actually, yeah, it's from time to time.
What do you do when you do that? When you're just playing for fun, what are you doing?
Call of Duty with you guys.
Okay, that's true. That's true.
Like,
But that's
we
in like
should
2 or
record
3
that.
times. So yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I've never played with you, so
I mean, I think I recorded it.
Yeah.
The first one we did. I think I recorded it.
I was just playing for fun. Some I recorded.
No,
and some
you weren't
just,
even playing for. Well, you were playing for fun, but you weren't having fun yet because you were learning how to play it.
Yeah. I was getting killed every second.
It's like, why is this running different? Jumping is different.
So what would you say started you into gaming then? Like originally, how did you start gaming? Obviously, you're Steve the gamer, but so when you started going to YouTube and doing stuff, you were playing with your friends and etc. But before all of that, how did you start into gaming?
That was video game was like that thing that I used to use to kill time, like from Super Mario Brother.
When you were how old? Starting when?
Probably like 5, 6. And I just kept going from
on like
there.
a NES or SNES?
Tetris. I mean, you name it. I had the first Nintendo.
So NES, yeah.
Yeah. So the first Nintendo that I had, none of my friends had it, which I thought that was really weird because everybody had the box Nintendo. I had my original Nintendo look like a Super Nintendo, but it wasn't. Yeah, I had the first model. It was weird.
That sounds.
I didn't have the box.
Like
I didn't have the box.
Canal Street special.
Say
No.
Chinatown special.
No. It was the special. It was. I don't remember the name
like
of
a
it,
special edition.
but it was like it wasn't Nintendo. You put the cassette that way. It was right on top.
The cartridge on top.
Yeah.
So like an
An
early
N64.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the only
Was
model.
it an N64 though?
No, it was a regular Nintendo.
or Super Nintendo was
Also on top
straight,
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they thought it was Super Nintendo, but Super Nintendo didn't come out that time.
Huh.
So it was like
You don't have any photographic evidence of this, do you?
yes, I mean I don't have the photos,
could
but
probably
I
find
could
it,
find
yeah.
the actual.
You may need to.
Yeah.
Because I started with Atari.
Okay.
Go ahead, say it.
Mm-hmm.
Boomer.
Yeah, there it is. I started with Atari.
We need a boomer button.
And we need a flex.
I was not allowed to touch the Atari. I remember that.
Why?
It was my dad's Atari.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
true.
So it was
true.
like, you can't touch this. You could look. You could watch me
So
play.
I think my dad, when we got an Atari, we were really young, and so this must have been 1986, 87,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm pretty sure that my dad got an Atari and told my mom, I'm getting it for the kids, but he played it like 50% of the time. So
That's funny.
like we'd sit there and actually my brother and I would sit there and just watch our dad play, and that was as entertaining as us playing or something like that.
Video
So
games.
yeah. So are you looking for the photo?
Yeah.
So the Atari is what started, and then I remember playing a few of those Atari games. I was like, "Wow, this is awesome! This is amazing! The graphics are insane! I can't believe they have sound effects."
Realistic.
Yeah, it's amazing. Well, I don't say realistic, but I remember playing like Atari Baseball and a bunch of other ones. But then we got Nintendo, and then my world changed because Nintendo was like, man, I mean, just
Change the game.
everything from gameplay to story. Right? I mean, I think my favorite story of all time is still Zelda.
Oh my god, my brother used to love that. I used to have to hear it because all the songs that they have in Zelda. Oh my god,
yeah,
I would hear it all
the
day.
meaties that that get stuck in your head. But and by the way, did you play Nintendo? Or
The earliest that I had
way
was
before
Super
you?
Nintendo,
Yeah,
and
okay.
then that was my cousin's, and first console I got was the Nintendo 64.
Okay.
Because I'm 25.
Right. No,
so
that makes sense. That makes sense. I'm just
95 when I
curious.
was born.
But when we played it, so do you know you know Zelda though, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Of course.
Well, who is Zelda?
Define who is Zelda.
Zelda's a name.
I know, but he's the character in the game, Zelda.
That's Link. That's what I was asking.
Oh.
Yeah, Link is the title character.
I'm a
in
boomer.
Link
I'm
and
an
others.
anti-boomer, whatever.
Zelda was the princess. Yeah,
I played it.
dropping some.
I played it and didn't
old
even
school gaming knowledge on you.
link the two.
No, I mean, which makes sense. I mean, most people don't, but it's called Zelda, so you assume it's him. But yeah, that was that's he's still looking for that.
I can't find it.
I also had the first Game Boy when it came out, the handheld.
I mean, everyone did. Come on, man.
But dude, that Pokemon Fire, that's what started me.
Oh no. That's not no.
I'm saying that was my first game that was like I'm
Donkey
obsessed.
Kong. Oh,
I've never.
Dude,
played
Donkey Kong N64
Whoa.
was the greatest. The yellow cartridge was the greatest Nintendo 64 game ever released. I still to this day want to buy a Nintendo 64 to play Donkey Kong.
Well, I actually have it at the lake house. I have a whole thing of retro gaming. So I have like pretty much every other platform there is. Anyway, time for Harrison's pee break. And Steve,
Put up the graphic.
You can look for the
I'm
photo
looking
in the
for
meantime. All right. All right, so we're back, and Steve is still trying to prove that his fake Super Nintendo, but Nintendo, was a real thing.
I don't know.
Wish.com special.
It was a special.
Hand me that. Yeah, pour yourself some first, then I'll grab some. I had a beer earlier. Harrison is
sober Monday.
He had lemonade.
Lemonade. Thanks to that was from the Haitian spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was decent lemonade.
Homemade, I assume.
Homemade, yeah. I finally got
homemade.
you guys trying Haitian food.
I've had it twice now.
What you think so far about that?
There is very few food that I'm like, no, I don't want it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I had a bad experience with Ethiopian food because there just wasn't much there for me to eat. Like it just didn't, it was like
had to pick a lot.
No, it was just like powdery paste with a bunch of different colors and bread, and I was like, this isn't fulfilling to me. But maybe I just went to the wrong place. I just haven't really given it a shot. But otherwise, there's pretty much no other cuisine. I mean, I've also tried like all those weird things that people go on those shows to eat. Like I've eaten grilled tarantula. I've had like I forget what it's called in Iceland. It's the flesh, like petrified, putrefied. Actually, not petrified, not fossilized, but putrefied shark flesh that is buried for like 6 months and then just rots. But it breaks down like the arsenic or whatever is in it, ammonia I think it is, enough for you to eat it. It's basically survival food. It's terrible. It tastes like dead.
You probably pay
carrion.
a lot of money for it, huh?
Yeah.
That's like $32. Yeah.
It's a delicatessen.
Me and another guy did, and he had to spit his out. Out of 30-something people, they're like, "Oh, we'll try it," and they smelled it, and no one wanted to try it. And then another guy was like, "I'll do it." He put it in his mouth, and he almost threw up, and he spit it out. And I'm the only one who ate it and swallowed it. But so anyway, Haitian food is nothing compared to that.
Okay,
It's yummy. It's delicious. So
yeah.
But we were talking about something before that. What was it? It was besides your fake Nintendo.
Nintendo, right?
Nintendo 64, Donkey Kong being the best game out there.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of Donkey Kong. I never was.
I never got. I mean, I played.
What do you know? You didn't even know Link. You thought it was Zelda. He doesn't know.
Zelda.
That was not my favorite game. That's what it said.
That was not.
Pokemon,
Yeah. Also,
Donkey
it
Kong.
wasn't mine because it was like I used to watch my brother play it so much. Knowing that.
Oh, you were like
right
over it?
Yeah, I was over it because
Yeah.
that song. I mean, you know what? I fell in love with the song after, and then fell out of love with it.
Well, like so, Zelda had a few songs, but like is that the main theme?
The main theme is like once it play, you can actually tell what it is.
Don't play it. We'll get copyright.
I just want to know what it is.
No, they could take the whole podcast down if they
Oh
hear
my
that.
goodness,
Yeah, it's
that's
bad.
ridiculous.
Oh yes. I remember with them. Yeah.
Copyright laws, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Zelda, pay us.
Koji Kondo looks like he was the original composer. You have him to thank for that.
And how do you, Harrison? How do you feel about like you heard about Twitch? They have copyrights just like you.
Oh,
do.
Yeah.
right. I heard
And they
about
could
that
take
too.
it down midstream. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think
T-Pain was talking about that today.
Yeah. A lot of people freaking out about
people
that right
were. I mean, the people's defenses were that it's not like a monetized thing. Kind of. I've seen that argument where it's like it's not a platform like people are streaming. I mean, people are making money off of, donations and whatnot, but they're not making money because that song is playing. It's just one of the songs that's just very lightly in the background while they're gaming. It's just to keep people entertained, and that's that's getting people's names out there. And then the problem that needs to be solved is it even boils down to like 10-minute or 5-minute YouTube videos. How much of a song is used should not dictate the whole. Whatever content it is. It's a 3-hour, Twitch stream. It should not be taken down because of a 1-minute clip or even 3-minute clip.
Yeah.
Just mute that part or have the option to take it out.
You do now. So in the new studio, which you're not
Like
using
YouTube.
yet, you do have that. There's a couple beta.
Well, no, I know
things.
you can do that, but then your whole in a YouTube video, specifically like a 10-minute video, you're muting yourself talking during that time. And as long as it's
I'm
not,
saying
the song in the
there's a beta function
I've seen it
of just do the song.
I haven't touched it
it's
yet.
alright.
It doesn't work well. It's,
No,
it's
it
still
doesn't.
very much beta.
Which it's better than nothing, but
It is.
But also, even it boils down to them claiming monetization is on YouTube side is what annoys me is that if you have 10 seconds of the song, they can take your whole 10-minute video, all the monetization. They should do it percentage wise. Let's say it's 1% of the overall. Okay, then yes, I agree. They can have 1% of the ad revenue of that video but it's not. If it was a re-upload of the song directly and that was it, and you're making money, I get that. You're just stealing it. But if it's like a 10-second thing where you're showing off a whiskey bottle, like
Yeah, and that's the problem is that we're out in public and we're I'm vlogging or something like that, and I have to stop vlogging
because
or cut the audio. And, and it just
Kill the vibe.
it takes away from the experience of it. And I'm a big fan of that, but I also do understand. You got to draw the line somewhere, So I get that, but so our early gaming days, you pretty much started with Super Nintendo, right?
Yes, that was the first.
And then N64 was your first console.
That's the one I first started collecting games for.
Yeah, and I think around that time, man, N64 came out, and that was like a 3D amazing thing. But before that, I had a Neo Geo. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. You wouldn't, but I had a Neo Geo.
I remember. That game just came up. Ninja Gaiden or something.
Ninja
like
Gaiden. Yeah. Well, that was on like a lot of platforms.
Oh my god, that was. I spent a lot of time in that game.
Yeah. I mean, Neo Geo was like amazing. I think it was called originally like Jaguar.
Is it like a block game? Or am I just completely
No, it's a totally different platform.
Yeah.
The thing itself is a platform. Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't succeed, I guess.
And before that, I was really into Sega. I had Sega CD. I
got so much whooping for Sega.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I didn't have one, so I would go sneak out and go play over my friend's house.
Sega.
Yeah.
My dad would not let me play Sega.
Yeah.
Have you?
I was really young.
Why?
Just because
Sonic.
Yeah,
that was like the title game.
Because I was really young when Sega was like
but
popular.
Mortal Kombat also came out on Super Nintendo too.
Yeah. After
I was really young for that time.
True.
So
Yeah.
I remember Sega was like the first time I could play games like on my own and not have to ask my parents. Like, and I was like,
I wish.
Yes. And I mentioned it before, I think, on our first episode, Road Rash. That's why I don't like to ride motorcycles in real life. Road Rash was the game I played.
Oh my god,
all
I played that for
the fucking time. And the big bad there, his name is Biff. I remember that. and the fastest bike was this like, I don't know, S2000 or something like that. And it was blue and white, and it was mostly blue, but it was like so fast you couldn't even control it. I loved that game so much. You can get the chain or the club, and while you're driving, you could hit people, and it was like, oh, it's violence, yes. And my parents didn't, they didn't mess with it because I was older at that time. But before that, we had the Nintendos and Super Nintendos and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I didn't really get it. Zelda, I got into original NES. Zelda for sure, and the Mario games fine. I mean, honestly, these days I'm just bored the fuck out of Mario.
007.
I can't even do Mario for
that was
GoldenEye?
way later. That's
like
N64.
But it's still a good.
Dreamcast or
The Dreamcast, I had that too, but that was even later, and I skipped it. I bought it after the fact. Like it was like $30, and I bought like a Dream.
I still got mine.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, you've been to my lake house.
Yeah.
You've seen all?
I've seen
the
those.
time
I've
capsule
seen those,
there.
yeah.
It is. There's probably maybe 15 or 16 old school retro gaming platforms there.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or starting from there's still my original NES.
I almost bought a sealed N64 like 2 months ago off of eBay because I just was like, I want an N64, but I don't want. I want to like if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna go for it. Get a sealed brand new one, and it was like $180 for a brand new one.
I tried that. I got bamboozled. It was like a little thing. I was like, "Are you serious?" It's a little.
How'd you
mini.
get scammed?
I was like, "Are you serious?" They put the picture. Like,
Well,
the
these
original
days
one.
you should just pretty much buy an emulator, not the original. You should buy an emulator because it's like a USB thing or whatever it is, or HDMI, and it's so much easier, so much better because the old ones actually have problems with the new TVs.
I know, but I just love to have that. But
I get it. You're preaching to the choir.
Yeah,
I own a whole thing of them.
I thought that's what I was buying, and I really got bamboozled. I was like, "What the hell is this?"
That same guy I showed you guys, Keemstar, he's collecting old games. He also did this thing where he modded a GameCube to make it play 4K video games now. All the old games, but it plays in 4K on a normal TV.
Ooh.
It's like
Sounds
a modded,
awesome.
crazy N60 or GameCube. But I'm sure you can't really go much farther back than that to enhance the things. But it's kind of because I've played emulators online before, where like if I wanted to play an old Pokemon game, I'd go play it on a desktop for free on an emulator. That's just like
I've never played a Pokemon game in my life.
You're missing out.
Oh, I didn't play Pokemon.
Dude,
I used to watch it, but I didn't.
I never seen it.
That
never played
formed
it.
my childhood. I played every single Pokemon.
Wait, were you into that craze Pokemon Go recently?
It's not the same. It's totally different. And I tried it. It's not. A lot of people got hooked to it. I didn't because you had to like travel around and go walk around to find the stuff. I just didn't have the patience. I was just like, it was fun for the first 2 days, and then some people stuck with it and still play it to this day. And
Are you serious?
yeah, like Adam22, he's a YouTuber as well. He plays it like every day still to this day. He loves it.
Well, I'm glad he loves it. I mean, I think gaming helped shape a lot of how I think and what I do. I mean, all of us probably. And then, you guys know, maybe the viewers don't, but I in college, I basically committed almost a year and a half. No, it's not a flex. What's the ring? What's the ring? No. I was 18 months or so. I was heavy into pro gaming, amateur gaming, competitive gaming, etc. And I traveled and played, and then locally played on console and Xbox, but Halo. But this is like modern time gaming. We're really talking about retro gaming here. But I mean that helped shape a lot of who I am now. Having and I eventually won a world championship with that game on Halo PC. However, I learned so much, not just from early gaming too, but also even in college, how to run a clan, how to run a team, how to manage, develop people, all these things that are fundamental to how I run businesses these days. So I have gaming to thank a lot for that. And also a lot of good friends that, some of them you don't talk to anymore and stuff like that, just like anybody has friends, but some are lifelong friends that I still talk to this day. So I think gaming at its core is an entertainment, but also brings people together, right? Whether you all play the same game, whether it's you and your brother, that you have some like great memories, because I know I do with my brother.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be here without
the
gaming.
gamer.
Yeah.
That's true, exactly. So, I think all of us growing up, though, you more close to me, but you having a different, I mean, by the time you were kind of growing up, I feel like it was a lot more accepted, because when we were growing up, it was like you're gonna rot your brain still. That type of stuff. Like with you can play that Indindu for 10 minutes and then you have to get off. Yeah. And they come and you couldn't save your game back then. Remember you couldn't save games, and they just come and hit the power button and then bad stuff would happen.
Super Mario. Oh my god, that used to be the worst.
And you get so far and
I wasn't like
that's why Zelda was amazing, because I don't know how they did it, but you could save your game on that, but no other game you could. It was weird. I don't know.
Crazy. The first console that I was allowed to play was a 360. That like when it came past
Xbox 360.
Xbox 360 was the first one.
Not
that
even
my
the
parents,
original Xbox.
I had one, but I was so limited on my games. My parents were like, you could play for like 5 minutes. My parents were like, didn't want me to play like any shooting games. They're all like all that, because they're like, this is so bad for you, all this. And I would sneak over 007. I played that on N64.
N64, 007.
GoldenEye.
GoldenEye.
I put hours into that.
That is, I will say, that is the gold standard for first-person shooter games today, period. Yeah. Unquestionably. I don't think anyone questions that.
With the split screen and
everything. Just the whole multiplayer experience it was a seminal thing at the time.
It's crazy. Doom used to scare me. I don't know why.
Oh yeah, because it was fucking scary. Because they had all these like monsters and shit. Like, and
I
you
was
play
playing
it
in school and scream when everybody.
I would play it at like late at night. Like I'd sneak up, sneak down to the basement to play on the computer or whatever, and it was all quiet and all dark. I have headphones on, and I'm like because it was like 2 a.m. I was still playing. I mean, it would scare the shit out of me too.
Oh my god!
Remember Duke Nukem?
Yes.
I didn't play it that much. I remember it. I had it, but I never played it.
And then before that, though, like I told you about the original GTA that I played, that first version.
I was not allowed to touch GTA.
Yeah, this is before. This is before it was GTA. Like it was basically a car game, and you could like, it was only aerial view. Yeah, and it was like, and I remember playing that. I loved it.
Did you ever get a chance to play? I think it's called Star Fox or something.
Star Fox. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Of course.
I put in so much hours in that.
Yeah, that was N64 though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, that was another staple. And then, so I never had a PS1. Like I own one now, but I never got one when I was a kid. So I was never really.
Why I ended up getting one? Because of Driver. There was this game called Driver. When I said it. What?
I never played it.
That was like the first GTA.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure GTA was the first GTA.
No. I mean, it was like the beginning of car game that way.
I've never played it.
It was like you have the cars, but you can't get out. That was the only thing you couldn't do. And then they finally put that, but GTA beat them to it.
Right.
I don't know why I said Xbox 360 was the first that I actually played.
I was like, that's way later.
Yeah, because I had every console. But I just remember my parents got strict because how realistic the games got when 360 came out. So I would have to sneak over to my friends, even the Xbox, to go play like Halo 1. I'd have to go sneak in my friends. My parents wouldn't buy it for me because obviously I can't go buy it when I'm, however, just 10, 12 years old. Halo first one came out.
Right.
They were like, no, you're not playing it. So my neighbors had it, and I'd go play with them. Just sneak around.
Did you guys ever had a Game Boy? I just remember.
Of course.
that.
That's
Yeah,
what that's what I was saying. That was like my first
Talking about
handheld
Yeah.
with Pokemon.
Handheld.
Yeah.
Because I had the Game Boy, of course. Actually, we had two because my brother and I would fight over it.
Mhm.
And honestly, Tetris still holds my attention on Game Boy. I mean, I think the best game.
No,
on
it was
Game Boy.
Tetris is making a comeback.
Ninja Gaiden or something like that.
Yeah, you
That
keep
used to
talking about
be-
Ninja Gaiden. You
No,
really
because
like
I
Ninja
played
Gaiden.
it on regular and then I got it on.
They created this new thing for Tetris. I don't know if you've seen. Logan Paul has been like he's been playing Tetris for years, but he's getting into it. It's basically Fortnite for Tetris, and there's 99 players, and you shoot different of the what are they called?
Blocks.
The blocks towards the competition to try to take them out, and they're shooting them at you at the same time. So you have to like perfectly do it and it's like 99 people, and it dwindles down to one. Who wins? Dude, playing that on Game Boy.
Oh my
Am I going to
God.
get copyright for that for singing it?
Yeah.
Nintendo
so
not
serious
singing,
about
not
that,
singing.
though.
Not singing.
Yeah, I'm not
Unless
singing.
you're like singing like Mariah Carey perfectly, and you got the music in the background. Put up a Tetris thing on the screen.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's pretty perfect for a meaty. Like you can't really fuck that up. And so what was I had it. I can't remember what it was, but it was like the Sega version of a handheld, because Nintendo had the Game Boy, but it was black. I had one.
I remember that.
And it was wide. What was that called?
It didn't last that long.
It was like
either.
this. It was big.
Yeah,
like
it was
this
big.
Yeah.
I'll look it up, but I
It
can't
had
remember.
good
I had that.
pictures too, like really good, high quality too.
I remember
walking through the
Game
mall.
Gear. Game
Game
Gear.
yeah.
I had a Game Gear, and I thought it was this coolest thing ever, man.
Do you remember
I love
the first Xbox like boxes they made where you had a screen attached?
Well, those weren't the first ones, were they?
Well, I just remember going to GameStop or
Yes, they had
something
the
with that, and I was
screen.
like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god, what is
So
that?"
that was like a cool thing. They just added a screen that you could play. Wherever.
Yeah.
I loved that. But I actually still have an original Xbox because I have the Halo edition that they sent me after I won. One of the
Flex.
one of
Flex,
the
I
few
know, right?
perks. One of the few perks I ever got was a pallet of Balls energy drink, Xbox Halo edition Xbox One, and server hosting.
Xbox One, so it was somewhat recent. Are you saying
What, the original?
original?
No, not the first Xbox.
Okay, that's
I
what I'm
don't- Sorry,
saying.
not ONE Xbox
Yeah.
One. No, But see, that confused me because it wasn't the first Xbox. So Xbox One wasn't the first one.
No, I know.
Yeah, it's like I got you.
I don't like that.
Microsoft.
naming
Well, that's funny
convention.
because Microsoft actually sent me an Xbox One X. It was like the first time they were like, "Hey, do you want an Xbox?" And I was like, "Sure."
Hey.
They sent it to me, and then they also sent me like a thing with 35 different games, and they sent me like Game Pass and Xbox for years, and they're just like, "Here, this is a PR pack we left over. You want it?" And I was like, they didn't have to
Sure.
post
Let's
it
go.
or
You say
anything.
no.
Yeah, exactly. And I had an Xbox at the time, but it wasn't even mine because I had like given mine to somebody years ago because I never played, and then now I'm on it.
Well, so and obviously we've modern gaming is quite different, and it's impressive. I mean, unbelievable now. But PS2 and 3 and 4. But what today they just had announced on the PS5, right?
Yeah,
What,
PS5.
what do you know about that? Because I didn't see anything.
Also, no, I didn't even get a chance to watch it either.
Did you see anything?
Only thing that I saw was the pictures of it, and then that it is $800 retail price. That's what I-
$800.
What can I
And
do?
I saw a lot of people saying if you can spend $800,
Why not get a PC?
why not get a PC? Well, they have two versions actually. So there's the PS5, then they have a PS5 digital edition, no slot for a disc, only for
Digital
electronically
download, yeah.
downloading. And I guess that's going to be the future. But having that disc makes me think, will it be able to play older games possibly? Or I guess
Maybe that's
games
the
are still
downside.
rolling out on disc because disc I'd liked for a while because you could trade it in and get money, but then
Also, load times would be were faster
Yeah.
back in the day. But
now it's
Wait,
there's a new
jeez.
update for Call of Duty today. 84 gigabytes. Another
What?
84.
every time.
That's crazy.
So
I had to get a new PS4
I had to
just
delete.
for that.
I had to delete games off my
Yeah.
hard drive to update the dang game.
You need to go update because you
Yeah,
haven't
like
played in a
5
while.
It's been a
updates.
while. It's
You
been a
got
while.
300
yeah.
gigabytes. Of
There
stuff.
are two big
I'll
ones.
just turn it on.
Yeah, there are two big ones, and that's the problem with.
It's
But
been a while.
but I have to say that where the consoles and the capabilities have come, Call of Duty Warzone I think is perhaps the best game I've ever played in my life. It is.
It's
It
so
is
much.
so-
It's fun.
It's
yeah.
insane.
It's
There's so
impressive.
much stuff.
And it's not that it's fun and cool and looks good. It is so well done. It's so well thought out.
No, they listen to the people because it's like we were complaining about the last one. The last one was trash.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I am a Call of Duty guy through and through. Call of Duty was I sat and I played Modern Warfare 2 for 14 hours a day
Yeah.
for every day. Like
They
literally
took that away.
my cameraman, was my best friend growing up, still my best friend, he would come over to my house and sit there and watch me trick shot on Modern Warfare 2 for hours. Just sit there and watch me.
When you were trying to get
And
into
we're
phase.
hanging out. Yes. It literally, I paid for a spot in FaZe's sub box back in the day on YouTube.
Yeah.
So there used to be a sub box, and anytime anybody subscribed to you, there'd be a drop down list that'd just be like subscribe all. So I paid $20 to be in there, and I got like 500 subs in a couple hours off of it, which at that time was huge because they had, you know, a couple tens of thousands of subscribers maybe, like because they were like the first big gaming. And I was just like, I'm gonna do it, try to get my cloud up or whatever, try to get, because I wanted to be in FaZe, obviously.
Of course.
I got close, but
I mean, I don't think they were the first big gaming clan, but they were
on YouTube.
on YouTube. Yeah, exactly.
That's-
So yeah,
For like, I was in my
they were
genre
trick
of
shotters
Modern
and
Warfare,
stuff. Yeah, I mean they were doing trick shotting for Call of Duty, so
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Warzone is good though. I agree, and I think they waited long enough and listened with the
And
stuff
watched,
with Fortnite.
You know, watch Fortnite, watch
That's the-
everyone. Yeah,
And the fact that
All
Call of
Battle
Duty
Royale
came
games like
out
that.
with the free Battle Royale is crazy to me because
smart.
could you imagine 10 years ago saying a video game that big is going to come out with a free version of their
Free,
game?
I know,
Or
I
even
know.
Fortnite being free is crazy to me.
But
Yeah.
but they saw what that did to it. That, you know, the
Crushed the market.
microtransactions, which aren't even micro anymore.
Fortnite definitely crushed that.
Yeah, but now making that model of microtransactions or inside the game purchases, right? It's not even micro anymore. Like people are spending $20, $50, $60, $70 on skins, which I think is still dumb.
Dude, skins are going for like $3,000.
Well, I'm saying the
Resale.
average person.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then there was that whole issue a few years ago on that
CS:GO
skin.
skins.
Yeah,
CS:GO,
like
yeah.
the skin
Did you play
gambling
CS:GO?
thing.
Either
no,
of you?
no. I mean, I knew of it. It didn't. That was during like right before my Halo days. I wouldn't waste my time with CS:GO. But I mean, either way, the Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, Warzone is, I think, the pinnacle of gaming today. I think it's probably one of the best games I've ever seen in my life. GTA though, when
It's
6 comes out,
different.
I'm very
Different.
excited for it. But it is.
Hype. A lot of hype.
I mean, and it makes sense because GTA 5 was so incredible that it's hard to beat.
No, actually, San Andreas was the best GTA.
You think so?
Ooh.
The best GTA ever. But it's like they took it away after they introduced everything else. Like they took so much of GTA San Andreas. Like that's what we've been asking. Hopefully they listen. I mean,
Yeah.
Rockstar, of course. But if they could bring everything
Pick
we
up
had
your
in San
Rockstar back
Andreas,
phone again.
Hey, tell them to bring Midnight Club back, too.
Midnight. I know. I
Dude,
don't know.
that game was
I know. That was a good
You
game.
didn't play Midnight Club?
No way.
Oh my-
See, this must have been in
An era.
between 2004 and 2018.
Yeah.
Because I didn't play games. I
Dude,
retired from
Midnight
gaming
Club.
and I was done. I was building businesses.
That's when I was modifying cars for like the first. Like
Mhm.
that's the game you really.
Yeah.
Those
did.
Escalade and all that.
I went to the GTA 5 midnight release actually. I missed going to, like I'd go for every Call of Duty release, going at midnight, waiting, go home, and I'd start playing it when you didn't have to install something for 8 hours. You
Mhm,
literally
mhm.
just pop the game in.
I miss those
Different, yeah.
days.
Yeah.
But
you,
that
you
you
probably
know,
went to the midnight release of GTA 5
I
or no?
I didn't because I just got a job with Chase and they just
Big
moved
boy
me
job.
to Texas. They moved me to they just moved me to Texas. I quit my job. I'm telling my family goodbye. I'm in a new state by myself and I just
Perfect
didn't
time for video games.
Yeah.
but I'm sure because you're like me that you just put your head down and fucking got to work.
Yeah. I mean, I moved to the state, but all I had was work the next morning, come back and play GTA 5. Works the next morning, come back and play.
So there wasn't enough room. You're saying. I mean, you could game, but there wasn't enough room for anything else but GTA 5.
Yeah, that was it.
Ah.
That was
That's
my life
funny.
right there.
Because I didn't think about it, but my era between when I took this YouTube channel seriously and like probably when I was at like 700,000 subs, I didn't touch any video game. I didn't have a console because I was too focused, which is not as big of a
Just
period as
one.
you, but like I was so focused I
It's
couldn't
the same
think about
concept
it.
though.
And now I'm just slowly starting to find
Get
that
back.
balance of work and a little bit of relaxation
Exactly.
of video games.
And that's what I've been doing the last, I don't know, 5-6 months, is that slowly getting back to that, because for a long time I was just focused, head down, getting stuff
Yep.
done. And I mean, I it's not that I forgot who I was or anything. It's just that I and we talked about this last night actually. My version of balance at the time was 90% work, 10% anything else.
I
Yeah.
know.
You know, it doesn't have to always be 50-50, like, 50% work, 50% life. Like sometimes in life it's 90% work. Sometimes it's 90% enjoyment, you know? So
I did not have, like, I remember GTA was my only fun because I was writing a software from scratch and I had to work with a team. So it was like I was the lead engineer at that time. So it was like, I can't mess up because they gave me the job. They flew me out to Texas, and it was like, get it done.
Would you say gaming had anything to do with your ability or interest in that?
No, not
field?
really.
No.
Only because it was like completely different. Writing the software, and we were trying to do the first ATM that could take $1, $5, and $10. So it was like we had to go all the way back, meaning rewrite the whole software. And we decided to go with a concept like an iPad instead of a regular ATM.
Mm-hmm.
Those ATMs still exist, of course, but it turned out really good because I was so focused. Like GTA would take my time off when I'm on it.
Yeah.
And then after that, I'm able to go back the next morning like, let's go, guys. Let's go. I'm ready.
So it was enough of a break and a change for you to be able to come
Killing
back fresh.
people in GTA.
So you just talked about the Face stuff and what you paid for and, at the time. What impact do you think gaming has had on where you are today and what you do today?
I actually, some of the first videos I posted on YouTube were gaming stuff because I saw people doing the gaming YouTube like early on. And obviously I saw regular YouTube, but I was like, I'm kind of good at this game. Let me see what I can do. So I would take a Flip, I think it was a Flip Micro or Flip Go, whatever camera. It was like a camera that was straight up and down, had a red record button.
I know those. Yeah.
I took that and I would like put on some books and put it on my screen and perfectly frame it and record it. And then I would just upload clips to YouTube. And those channels are gone now. And that's how I like would
I did that
upload
like
YouTube
2 months ago.
I did that for a while.
I did that like 2 months ago with my digital SLR. When I didn't have an Elgato card, I just recorded the screen.
But I think it definitely, because that just got me more interested in seeing that, like, not that it was a job music, because then it still was not a job, but it was more like I could see you could build a platform, and like I just loved YouTube so much, and the gaming went hand in hand because I would just watch gaming stuff on YouTube and then play it. And so
it's funny, Steve the Gamer, who's YouTube gaming, your path actually brought you back to YouTube, but it wasn't because of gaming that brought you back to YouTube. You were gaming because you loved the gaming. And
till today, because most of the times recording for me is fun because if the game is working properly, but me going in there is like, wow, okay, this is fun all over again.
So gaming didn't help you have fun or do anything with anything else outside of that. But when you got back to YouTubing and for gaming, then obviously gaming was the basis for doing it. And and if it weren't for you playing games for fun, you wouldn't have ever probably done YouTube gaming at all. And then if it weren't for you playing games and then also doing YouTube gaming, you wouldn't have been doing what you're doing now either.
Probably not.
Yeah. And I will say, if it weren't for the early days of building a clan, like an international clan, running that company, running that clan like a business and like a company, I wouldn't be where I am today because of what I learned and how much I committed to that, understanding people, management, a lot of marketing skills, things like that. I wouldn't have done what I did today either. So we can all honestly, I'm trying to push us there, but I will say that honestly, all of us have a basis and have gaming to thank, not just for bringing us together with friends and cool stuff, but for the path of our careers and our lives. And I think that is what, a lot of kids today are going to have just because it's a normal part of life, like TV, right? Like for our parents, TV, I'm sure, had some sort of thing, right, with their lives. Whether it's business, I can advertise on TV, or it's I want to be on TV, whatever it is, it had an effect. And the internet age obviously has changed a lot of things.
Now it's YouTube for sure.
And gaming and now YouTube. So now
gaming
kids
might
want to
be
be
the
YouTubers.
I think gaming, I've heard on some podcasts, people are like, gaming in 30 years is going to be like that next thing. Like now it's influencers, but like I want to be a gamer. Like, because before it was kind of like that thing where nerds could go and watch, like that nerds back in the day at school couldn't play sports. They would go and they'd play video games, and that's where they would, succeed and be at the top.
Nerds
there.
are cool now.
Yeah, and now people with video games.
It's crazy as it sounds. I see that they starting to have school for that now too. I don't know if it's official.
I've seen that
too. How to play Fortnite.
Well, not so much that, but on the collegiate level, it started there because you could get scholarships. Some schools offer scholarships for competitive and professional gaming, and then it kind of filtered downward where a lot of high schools are offering classes, things like that. Not just how to game, but also the business of gaming, how to get into gaming development, that type of stuff.
Crazy part is my professor always catch me
which
playing in college.
Okay,
always catch me playing games on my phone, and he was like, I want you to learn how to code and all those stuff. And he didn't know how to approach me with it because he was able to teach everybody. And he was like, about you create a game with coding. I was like, wait, how can I? And then he taught me how to create Sudoku for the first time.
That's cool.
And that's why I even went even further with that, with like, all right, you know what? I want to create Tetris. I want to create that. And then I learned so much about coding, and I got so much better at it because the game, I felt like game kind of pushed me to learn so much more about it. And I got so much better at coding to the point where I got my first job at Chase when I graduate. Yeah.
Well, and you know, those are basic games, right? But
yeah,
I feel bad for the coders of like GTA or like
oh my God.
back in the day.
can't imagine.
I remember the open world type thing, even before GTA, like when it was Ultima, right? Ultima 5 or 7 or who knows what, and that's like a fantasy kind of journey. If you ever played it, I always wondered, like, because it would say, "What do you want to do now?" And it's like, you know, go jump on the horse and go left. Like, it's like crazy shit that. How much fucking development and coding was, because that was hard coded stuff. It wasn't like machine learning. I mean, it's
that's why I'm happy they kind of create an engine now for most of the stuff, so you could just go with the engine that they pick, just like GTA. The engine they picked for GTA 3, GTA 4, and then they finally upgraded with GTA 5. So I'm pretty sure GTA 6 is probably gonna cost a good penny.
Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
and that's all the time we have today. But
that's it, folks.
Thanks for joining us on our gaming discussion today.
Good one.
Once again, this has been Haas, Steve, and Harrison. This is the FLEXCAST. Thanks for stopping by, guys. We'll see you next time.
Peace.